up, party people, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing a full face of new or newish makeup from Essence. There's some things that have been out for a few months that I've just been kind of behind on getting around to. With that being said, everything is under $10, which is pretty cool in this state of inflation that we're in. So all I've got on my face right now is some skincare products. So I've got my Julep Beauty No Excuses sunscreen because I know how this works. It works well with everything as a base. I've got the e.l.f. Wow Brow Gel in the shade Taupe. And then for eye primer, I'm just going to use the Essence I Love Stage eyeshadow base just to kind of stick to the under $10 Essence theme, even though you can't find this anymore. But Essence just came out with a new eyeshadow primer, and I'm not sure how it compares to this one. I'm not sure if it's a concealing primer or if it's just like a translucent one, but I don't know. If you know, please let me know. The first one I have is the My Rose Will Go On eyeshadow palette. This is an extension to their other 6-pan palettes, which I think are so amazing. Like, they're so high quality, especially for the price. I think they're under, like, I think they're like $3 or $4, which is a freaking steal. So it's really pretty and just light, kind of not, it's like a pinky pastel thing, and I think this would be really pretty for spring. Every night in my dreams. So there are 5 of the 6 shades. So they swatch really nice. They're very soft. They're not too dusty. They don't feel cheap. They don't feel talky or dry or anything. So there's what those 5 look like. I mean, they're not the best at swatching, but that's not the best indicator of a good shadow. And then here's the last one, which is a really pretty rosy shimmery pink. So you have really pretty color story. It's just kind of light on the opacity when it comes to swatching, but I think it's going to be good for the eyes. Every night in my dreams. First, let's kind of wipe away any creases from the eye primer. I'm going to go into, this is kind of like a satiny kind of ivory shade, so I'm just going to put that down. So we're going to go in the mattes. We're going to go lightest to darkest. I'm going to go into this really, really light, I don't know if this is going to even show up on my skin tone, pale pink color, and put that in my crease as my transition shade. But yeah, it showed up a little bit. It definitely won't show up on someone that has a deeper skin tone. Now, I'm going to go into, let's go into this like peachy pink shade over here and just put that kind of right on top, to be honest. Okay, that's a really, really pretty tone, and it's super soft and blending out like there's no work whatsoever. Then I'm going to go into this mid-toned, deeper mauve shade. Just put this right here on the outer edge. Ooh, I love that. So I'm going to go into this darker, like mauve-y pink shade. Let's just put this on the outer V. I'm going to do a very light, shimmery kind of look today. Like, not over the top, not like metallic or wet or anything. Just very subtle, very toned down. I feel like if Essence did a lot more color stories with these little 6-pan palettes, like they would be booming. Yeah, I really like that. Like, it's not a dry shimmer or anything. It's definitely more like a satiny shimmer. It's not wet, metallic in your face, but that's fine. So now I'm gonna go into that lighter pink on a different finger and just put this in the inner corner and kind of meet it up with that shade I just laid down. So there is that look. So yeah, that took me a whole 5 minutes to use this entire palette. So the blend, in case I haven't said it enough, is heavenly. So for mascara, I've got 2 to use today. So I've got the Lash Like a Boss and the Double Trouble Extra Black Mascara. So on this side, I'm pretty sure this is like a natural bristle, like a bristle wand, and then on this side it's more plasticky, so you're supposed to be able to, I guess, twirl your wand and then get the best of both worlds, or you can go in with one side. And then here's the Like a Boss mascara wand. So yeah, it's got like a slight curve to it. It's like a medium thickness, like it's not too thick, it's not too thin. So let's start with this one, the Lash Like a Boss on this side. Okay, so there's one coat of the Lash Like a Boss mascara. So yeah, it's definitely more of a volumizing, thickening formula. Yeah, now let's go into 2 coats. So it definitely does build up more volume and thickness as you go, but not a whole lot of length. Like, I mean, there is some, like, it's not like making my lashes look short and stumpy or anything, but its strong suit's definitely volume. It does have a tendency to clump, so you gotta be kind of careful with that. I probably will go into a lash comb once it dries and comb through those suckers. Moving on to the Double Trouble mascara. I'm just gonna kind of work with both sides of the wand. I may, you know, twirl a little bit to get both sides in there, or I may start off with one side and then go into the second side. So I'm just gonna play around with it. Okay, so there is the like bristle side, which makes them really fluffy, very full, kind of minky looking. So let's go into the other side, the plastic side. I don't know. It kind of pulls them together a little bit more, kind of makes them look more like, not clumpy, but just kind of more volume, I guess. I will say though, I feel like this is a very dry formula, so like I keep having to dip in for more, which I guess you could consider to be like another layer, but I'm not, because I'm just kind of re-wetting my wand. All right, so I got a little bit of a mess behind my lashes on my eyelid, but I feel like that actually built up pretty well. Pretty good amount of volume and fullness and thickness. I've got a little more length like in the middle where I kind of focus the curling on, but it's not too bad. So let's go in with a second, like an actual official second coat. I do want to kind of do that like curling, like twisting of the wand thing, because I feel like that kind of gets both of the wand sides in there. I do like the Double Trouble mascara better than the other side, the Lash Like a Boss mascara. Like, I feel like this one just looks clumpy. Like there's just not enough separation, whereas on this side, there's some clump towards the base, like to where it just makes the lashes look thicker and blacker and just very full. Okay, so let's go into primer now. So this has a pretty good rating on the Ulta website. This is the Hello Good Stuff Skin Refining Primer, and it says, a lightweight texture for refined skin appearance. Moisturizing formula helps hydrate the skin, made with 98% natural ingredients. So it says it's hydrating, but then at the same time up top it says helps to mattify the skin. So I don't know. So I'm just going to apply this on one side just to see if I see a difference with the wear of the foundation and stuff. So let's just put it on this side. It's just a white lotiony kind of texture. Literally feels like I'm applying a moisturizer, like a skincare product. Feels lightweight, feels moisturizing. No pore filling or skin blurring qualities or anything. It's just hydrating, I think. Moving on to foundation. I may have to cut this short because I gotta go, but this is the Keep Me Covered Long Lasting Foundation. This is $7 on the Ulta website, and it's got a pretty poor rating, not gonna lie. The shade range is sucky. It's literally got nothing but light to medium shades, maybe a few tanner shades in there, but it's pretty pitiful. It says gives a natural looking medium to full coverage for up to 16 hours. Now I've heard a lot of people say that the color selection is awful and that it runs very, very yellow. So I got the shade 70 Warm Shell, which it still looks very light. Like all the shades I saw in store were pretty fair, and I've seen people say that it oxidizes and then the yellow kind of makes it look darker. So I'm just going to try a Warm Shell. For some reason I feel like this is going to be like really matte. So I will say it does look very, very like golden yellow whenever I first started applying it, but it seems like it's kind of settling down maybe a little bit, but it's pretty golden. And maybe it's just how I'm applying it, but I feel like a little bit of this does not go a very long way at all. Like I feel like it just, like I have to use a ton of it for coverage and to actually cover my entire face. But there's what one pretty light layer looks like, so I would say this is a medium coverage. So I'm gonna go into a sponge now and see if we can kind of build this up and kind of make it look more wearable. Okay, so it is building up better with a sponge, so we're getting a little bit of an improvement. I wouldn't call this a high coverage foundation. I would say it's a high medium coverage foundation, close to full. If you don't have a lot to cover up, then you probably will get an easy full coverage out of this. So there's what two light layers look like. So I'm glad that it's not like a flat matte like I thought it was gonna be. I mean, that's also skincare and stuff too, so it may depend on your prepping situation, but I've got some radiance so far. Hopefully it actually maintains this. I don't see a difference from side to side with the primer versus no primer. And I mean, again, the primer wasn't one that filled in my pores or softened or mattified or anything. So you might not see that until it actually wears throughout the day. Go ahead and give you the time because I'm going to forget if I don't. So it's 1:40. I gotta go. So I'll be back later to show you guys some more stuff. But we'll say 1:40 for our check-in time for the foundation because I feel like that's the main focus of a wear test. So I'll see you guys later. Okay, I'm back. Like almost 2.5 hours later. So here's what the foundation looks like unset, but just a little update. So the foundation, it definitely looks a lot better than I thought it would, and it's not matte. Like I said, it has maintained that kind of like radiant satin finish, but it's not one that has a lot of setting power. It has that like tacky feeling. And as far as the mascaras, I have had some flakes and stuff, and my under eye, like until I sat down and took my brush and my sponge, kind of touched up a little bit with like whatever's left over on there, my under eyes were looking really, really dark. So I had a lot of smearing. I had some flakes under my eyes. So moving on to concealer because I am tired of looking like a freaking raccoon. So this is the Keep Me Covered Concealer with Aloe Vera. It's part of the same collection as the foundation. I got the shade 40 Shell, and again, the shade range of these looks so weird. It's one of those that like when you swatch them, they probably do look a tad bit different, but in the tubes, like in the bottle, they all look the exact same. Okay, let's start with a brush just for funsies, I guess. So I was looking pretty dark out through here. Okay, it's blending out fairly well. It's a little light. Like it looks a little like it's kind of making my under eyes a little textured, but not bad. Yeah, it didn't cover up everything. Let's apply a little bit more. I'm gonna try it with the sponge this time, and I'm gonna let it sit here for maybe a minute or so. Okay, I'm gonna go into my sponge now. I've been sitting here for about a minute or so, and let's just blot it out. Okay, I'm gonna apply some more, okay? And I'm gonna apply it a little more liberally because they say that you can build it up easily without caking, or that's kind of what they implied. So let's try it. I swear, I just don't really feel like I'm getting more coverage. Like I feel like I'm just piling it on and nothing's really happening. Maybe medium coverage. I can still see my dark circles. I still see a lot of, I don't know, just it doesn't look the greatest, but I mean, it doesn't look super dry, it doesn't look super matte. Again, a satiny kind of finish, but it doesn't feel like there's a lot of hydration to it. So I'm gonna go into bronzer now, but I don't have a cream bronzer from Essence. So I'm gonna use this one from Hard Candy. This is the Face Off Bronzer in the shade Sweet Tea. Going into a cream blush now. So I've actually talked about this one before. This is the Essence Baby Got Blush Cream Stick, and this is actually a new shade. So the other video that I talked about this in, I used the shade Rose All Day, and this is the shade Peaches and Cream. This one is this really pretty, kind of like pastel peach kind of shade. Like it's like a bright peach. I'm just gonna take whatever's left over on the back of my hand starting out. So there's what it looks like kind of blended out. Like that's really pretty. So I'm just gonna go in. The formula blends out really well. It doesn't have any stiffness, no drag, nothing like that. It just completely meshes into your skin. That's a really pretty shade. That is... I'm feeling it. So moving on to highlighter. So I don't have a new highlighter from them, but I do have a powder highlighter that I've talked about a couple of times. This is the highlighter. That's what it's called, the highlighter. I'm pretty sure I talked about the shade number 1 Mesmerized, which is, it was kind of like a whitish gold. I didn't really like it for my skin tone. So this is the shade Sun Showers, number 2 Sun Showers. And it really reminds me of the Pure Nude Baked highlighters from them. Maybe a tad bit more intense, like a tad bit more glow, but very, very like finely milled, very high quality. Like it doesn't really feel like a drugstore highlighter, but it's not one that if you like a really intense, like in your face kind of highlight, I don't think you'll like this one. It's pretty natural. So this one isn't bad, but it's not one that I really find myself gravitating towards a whole lot. But I will say with this foundation anyway, it's looking a little textured-y. So this is something I've seen to be the case with this highlighter. Like it's not one that works well and pairs well with every foundation that I use with it. There are some times like today where it kind of looks a little like enhancing of pores and texture and stuff like that. But I mean, with setting spray, it kind of melts together and looks a lot better. And I mean, I think the glow is really pretty, and it's one of those colors that like it doesn't look like a separate product, you know? And I feel like it translates on camera pretty good too. So I think this is gonna be one that I learned to love. So I'm gonna do my little setting spray hack over my eyes and my highlighter and just kind of like meld everything together. I do want to use some powder though, so I'll be right back. So I kind of want to go ahead and do my lips, just kind of sit here and like kind of examine the lip gloss I'm going to use today. So let me go into a lip liner first. I'm going to use the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in the shade Los Angeles. So for lip gloss, this is the What the Fake Extreme Plumping Lip Filler in the shade Oh My Nude. Infused with hyaluronic acid and vitamin E. Spiced with chili extract for an extra tingle. That sounds nice. Okay, looks like a really pretty, just kind of everyday pinky mauve. Just not wanting to spread the best, but honestly I think that's more of like an applicator problem. Okay, it's applying a little stickily, but I feel like the consistency of the lip gloss doesn't really match the applicator because it's one of those that it's kind of thick, and the applicator is one that it's like it's so flexible and it has a hard time pulling the product around, you know? So I think that a different, like harder, less flexible applicator would have been better with this formula, but I'm already feeling the tingle. It's actually fairly intense, which I like. I know some people are sensitive to that, but I think it feels really comfortable. But yeah, really nice color, really impressed with it so far, and I like the tingle and stuff. But I will say though, there is a little bit of goopiness, like, you know, the little stringy goop from the top lip to the lower lip. Like it's kind of like, let me see if I can do it. Let me take my finger and kind of shear it out a little bit, hopefully. So I'm going to use my Milani Make It Last setting powder. I don't think this is available anymore, but this is one that really works for me. So yeah, I'm just going to do my chin, my T-zone, my under eyes, and then a little bit right through there where I saw some creasing and stuff. All right, so there is the finished look. So, I mean, overall, especially considering I didn't love every single thing, I'm actually pretty impressed. Okay, it is time to put the video to rest. It is now 12:02 in the morning. We are past the 10-hour mark. We are working on 11 hours. I don't think we're gonna get there before the video ends, but yeah. The eyeshadow palette. Okay, I don't know what in the world is going on. It has melted, it has faded, it has formed and congealed into like two little lines on my eyes. It's vanished. I don't know what happened. So I'm just wondering if the setting spray that I used to like tap out my shimmer, if it ended up breaking everything down. Which one was that? Oh yeah, the Wet n Wild SpongeBob setting mist. So that's not what it usually looks like. I put it into a different bottle because the sprayer sucks on it. But yeah, I'm not very familiar with using that one, the SpongeBob setting mist. So maybe I messed up by using that. I usually don't have a problem with setting sprays, you know, just tapping out my eyeshadow with them. But Something went horribly wrong today. Mascaras. So aside from the horrible creasage on my eyes today, these would have to be the worst things I tried today. Like, I've had flakes across my face pretty much all day. I've got a ton, okay, a crap ton of smearing and smudging and puddling into my outer corner. Can you see this? Like, look at this little wet puddly situation out there. I've got some on this side too. Like, it's not great. Like, I've got a lot on this side, but it is worse on this side, so that makes me think that it's the mascara. Now for the pièce de résistance, the Keep Me Covered foundation. I feel like that's what we're really here for in terms of the wear test. So I've seen worse and I've seen better. I actually see worse wear on the primer side. There are numerous spots on this side, the primer side, where it looks patchy. It's kind of got some separation. Like, it just looks kind of just chalky looking. I guess that's the way to describe it. It looks patchy. Like, the fade off is uneven. And I do have a couple of spots on the non-primer side, but really it's not that bad. So that tells me that it's the primer doing it. But it looks especially bad, and especially like crusty crab around my upper lip area. In terms of wear, I don't really see a whole lot of fade off on my blemish spots, which is really nice because at this point I usually see quite a bit. However, my cheek products did not hold up well at all. Honestly, it's just one of those that right now it looks very dull. Like, my skin just looks very dull, very lackluster, no brightness. At this point, I feel like it's fine. It's good. I'm not even gonna say it's fine. It's good, but it's not absolutely great. The Keep Me Covered concealer, this is a no. Like, there are so many better concealers out there. Like I said, like, it's not that full coverage like it claims to be, and it also claims to be buildable, which it built up nothing after the first layer. Like, it stayed looking the exact same, and I mean, there's no creasing or settling or anything right now, so I mean, that's a good thing. Like, that's a big plus. But I mean, look at the darkness, look at the sinkage, and it's in the name. Keep me covered, keep me, stay on, long wearing. Like, it should do better. The lip plumper gloss, I'm actually pretty impressed by this. I have this on right now. It's a nice color. It's not too goopy and sticky if you don't apply too much of it. I think I applied too much when I first did it. I usually try to end it on, like, you know, the MVP of the video, and I don't know if we have one. So if you enjoyed this video and if you found it informative and helpful and entertaining, then please give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already, and turn the notification bell on to always see my stuff, and I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.